Let me see. Yep. That seems like the voice is coming through. All right. Howdy, folks. I'm Cody with Ironverse Comics, and my camera is not centered. I hope you folks are doing well this morning. I'm drinking some coffee. Is that a little bit better? A little better? Just a little bit? That's a little bit better. Still got a little fellow down there taking that spot. I don't want to take the direction away from him. He's the whole reason I became famous, right? But seriously, I hope you folks doing well. It's Tuesday for me, I believe. Yeah, that the day. Yeah, it's Tuesday again, as it does. Uh, yeah, I didn't have too much of a reason to do this. I wanted to have some coffee. I wanted to say howdy. Um, Couple things that's come in, a couple things I want to talk about with Jack number four, and then we'll be out. Should be a quickie, but we'll see how it goes. That is some mediocre coffee. Just the best. Just the best. Howdy, Arno. I'm glad you're doing very well. I like hearing that. I definitely like hearing that. Let me get things to such sights to show you. Let me see. Yeah, let's do that. We'll start with that. I just got through cleaning the house, Arno says, like a nut. Well, that's good, and sometimes it's the only way to get through cleaning, right? And that's thanks to the new handheld vacuum cleaner. Oh man, tools, right? The right tool for the right job makes all the difference. It's one of the most important things my dad taught me. It's a biggie. It makes a massive difference. Right now, the right tool for my job is caffeine, even if it's mediocre caffeine. All right. Is this what I'm gonna do? So I guess what we'll do is we'll start here, and then you folks are gonna get an exclusive preview of the 5 ink pages we have ready. I think that's how we're gonna do this. Um, they're gonna go live with the campaign anyway, so I've been trying to seed the pages, different platforms and different areas here and there. Patreon's already seen all 5 of them for about a week now, so they aren't getting gypped. And you folks can kind of see that's what I need to do actually. How do I do that? I haven't done that for a while. Preview campaign. That's what I want to do. I want to show you folks a preview of what you can kind of look at, and we'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll glare at the gorgeous art, and then I'll talk about kind of where we are in some things, and I might show you a book or two I got recently, and then we'll call it. But where do I preview? There it is. It's a whole button. They got a button for it. Wow, buttons. Um, and now I'm sitting here on the couch with a jar of Goobers, peanut butter and strawberry jelly. Ooh. I am a fiend for PB&J sandwiches. Usually I get a nice sugar crash after them. That's always helpful, or they're a great wake up tool. I would have that with coffee, and I would be set for my day. Very high energy. Howdy, howdy, Kish. Yeah, we're just gonna show some things and see how it goes. All right, let's see. Share. Do I have display capture on? I think I should. I do from last night. Excellent. If you folks missed the stream last night, it was a lot of fun. I hung out with Robert Livingston from Tom and Artie, Bite, and a bunch of other works. Very prolific indie creator. Very underrated, honestly. And of course, Dollar Coins, and we just played some pre-sequel and chatted it up. It was a good time. It's a good time. If you want to see that, I think there's actually some pretty fun chemistry in there, so it's worth checking out. It's on the channel. Um, I'd love to see that get more views. I've also interviewed him on the channel before. I got to do another one now that I know how to stream and balance and have some production value. I've got to bring him back for that. Maybe when he's launching Byte, which should be here in March, if I heard correctly from him. His email sign up is up. Um, anthropomorphic shark. So one of the things that stuck with me, it's not Cobra, but like they work for an organization kind of like Cobra from GI Joe, which is that sounds very interesting with sharks. And the art is very cool. The line art that I've seen is very pro, and I love seeing pro work in the indie sphere. Not because those artists can't do pro work, if you know what I mean. But because it shows that talent's always everywhere, and it shows that it can be unshackled, which I appreciate a lack of shackles. So this is Jack Irons number 4, the campaign. So we're gonna go through it. You guys are gonna see the 5 preview pages that we have towards the end. I would love your thoughts as we go through it. There's the tiers are loose right now. I would love to set up more images for them as well. I don't think any of them have images currently. So this has got some polish that needs to be done, but I'd like to put it out into the zeitgeist and see what kind of ideas pop out and see if anybody has interest or here and there. We're at like 183 signups, which is it's interesting, right? I don't like gauging it on numerics because our first campaign had like no signups. I just launched that fucker and ran it, and we got the job done. Our second campaign, I think, had quite a few, and our third campaign had quite a few. And the third campaigns, the follow through rate from signups to backing was like 20%. So it really it's a terrible barometer. These email notification sign up things, but so I don't use it as a barometer. I recommend considering it more as if you're running your own. It's a tool, right? It's just another tool in the bit because some people are going to use it, but don't think there's any level of like again a barometer. Don't judge anything by it. It's not always that helpful. Bum, 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 bum. Uh, I'm hoping IGG is doing better than it was back in October. I don't know what was going on back in October. As some people may know, I tried to get this going kind of towards late summer, early fall, but I refused to launch without any preview pages, without showing that we can do the work again. And Maxie was neck deep in Kids and Monsters. Wonderful book by the Gifted Rebels. I totally recommend folks check it out. In fact, after we get through this, I'm going to show you the first book from Gifted Rebels that I've received and that Steve, our wonderful colorist, Maxie, and myself worked on. And I'm really proud to be a part of. So I'll show that off here in a bit. But first off, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's hop into it. I don't know what's going on with IGG, but I'll use whatever I got. We also, if you're looking at, you can't see it because Ironverse Comics, excellent. But there's a couple Kickstarter things open around up here that are slightly secretive, but we will see. We will see. So first off, yeah, that's exactly how I'd vocalize that. That's the thing. So, and I have my pie chart, and you can see kind of the percentages of where things are going. I believe, what is it, 65 to 75% of our budget goes straight to the artwork, the actual production of it, and that's, me. I don't take anything from that. I'm trying to knock this as low as possible. In fact, this is lower than it would be had I not already invested in these initial pages. Uh, so, it's a thing. It's a thing. We've hit higher than that before, but that was counting in demand on a project. So this is our most, I don't want to say arrogant goal. It's our lofty. I'm going to use the word lofty. It's our loftiest goal so far, but it is what you can expect a professional level independent comic to actually cost if you're taking care of your artistic team, making sure things are printed and shipped properly. I don't know how some people can get away with lower than that unless somebody in the team's getting a little screwed. Like in my end, if I wanted a paycheck, that'd be a bit higher. But I don't consider myself getting screwed because I have the IP rights and I get the royalties and I just love what I do. So, but that's I look at that and it scares me. I am a little worried that people look at this goal and be like, "Oh, they're not going to reach that," and then won't back it, and then we definitely won't reach it. So I'm hoping folks don't get gun shy about it, because that's what we need. Again, I'll break down what's going on as we go through tiers, and then I did a funding kind of pie chart, and you can see where the percentages go, without revealing page rates, because I think that is super important for the artists to have control of that information and to share it where and to whom they want. It's not my right to do that. So it's kind of lumped into one thing I call art. But you'll see. But that's the bit. That's the bit. Um, it seemed to be heavy CG only for a bit. Hope it shifted. Yeah, we'll see. I ran that Kickstarter a year before, and we got almost 7K on it, which was great. It wasn't what we needed to fund, but it was great. So we can pivot. As I've announced a few different times, issue number 4 will continue to be run until it's funded. What does that mean? We fail, it goes right back up, as soon as all the approval processes go through. If we're unable to fund, or looks like we're not going to fund, I might pivot to Kickstarter and try it just for the hell of it. Maxie is taking a wonderful gamble on this so far as well. He wants to make sure that it fits into his schedule without getting in the way of things, and he had some free time. So I'm another thing I'm gun shy about is that he wanted to produce the art during the campaign. He's hoping to have the book finished in March. He's hoping to have all 32 pages and the cover done in March, um, which is wonderful, right? If I don't fund though, it's extra pressure on me, right? but I think it was a wonderful thing for him to, I'm gonna put some more skin in the game too, because I love what we do, and so couldn't I couldn't argue with that. So again, gun shy looking at that goal and then the other pressures. It's gonna be fun, say the least. There, it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited to dive into this year. Last year it was more I need to do something because of where my mental state was, and it wasn't the right timing. And this time it feels like the right timing. And I think that matters more than where it's launched, more than what platform it's launched, more than almost how you market it even. The right timing is what allows things to happen. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Um, or don't use color. So I spoke to Steve about this because that was an option. Maxi's lines are heavy. This one, he's actually each book. There's enough time between our releases that let me see what time it is. Okay, cool. That he usually has grown as an artist in one shape or form between each. And this book, in particular, he wanted to use heavier inks, which you'll see in those pages once we get to them, which would apply better to a black and white book. Not better than color, but better than previous efforts of his line work would, and they already would work as black and white. In fact, Jack was originally released to the public as a black and white release. But there's something important to me about keeping the band together. About when you find that bit of magic, not carving it apart just so that something that resembles it can happen. So I had to talk to Steve about it because, again, with the our wonderful colorist Steve Cannon, with the increase in their profile has inevitably and justifiably increased the page rates. So that's been a thing, right? That's why I had to kick this goal up so high. Um, and so part of it was, yeah, I could knock over 2K off of this goal by doing a black and white book instead. But I don't think I could appreciate the work as much had it, one of the ideas was adding color as a stretch goal. And I don't think I could have appreciated the work as much had it not reached a stretch goal afterwards, which, if you build it in anyway. But I don't think I could have. It would have been nice and it would have been great, and then you could later like do another one that's just for color, right? Color and then a reprint or something. But the goal would still be over 10K for a black and white book. Like, no. So again, spoke with Steve, and he was kind enough to adjust his page rate to what I had previously budgeted for, because in between when I originally had budgeted for this book and now, he's been picked up for a few monthly books. He's quite swamped with work, which is incredible. A very, very killer colorist. But the fact that he was willing to budge there and that he wants to continue working on the book means the world to me. And I think again, the timing's right, and I think we need to express it as it needs to be expressed, even if that puts this in an interesting spot. But I think that interesting spot is I'm up for a challenge, I guess is the best way to put it. I think I'm ready for a challenge, and this will be our biggest challenge so far, even more than getting the book out the first time. What's the estimated page count? We're doing 48 pages again. There was originally going to be it was going to be fatter. It was going to be 52 pages at one point because we wanted to include the Cactus Coyote Ashcan in the book as like a second story, which is done, and is 15 pages. But Dollar Coins and I kind of were talking about, and there's different ways to go about it. That might be one of our first stretch goals, is a separate printed Cactus Coyote Ashcan. Um, the secret other thing I'm working on might include it. So that pivoted away. I just thought that's our format. Between issue 2 and issue 3, we've had a format. We've been growing into a release, and I want people to know what they can expect from it. Um, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's 48 pages, 32 story content. If you count the cover, which we always add story content to the covers, it's 33 pages. Um, but there's more story content that's going to be in the extras gallery this go. It's going to have some prose content, which I'm hoping to add some pinups to. Going to do the concept art again. Um, Fan art galleries became problematic in issue 3, very specifically problematic. So I'm less enthused to do those again, which sucks. It really bothers me. But I don't want to have to live with that again. So it's unlikely to do fan art galleries again, but concept work and all of that will be going into there in some shape or form. And of course, like I said, another prose story, hopefully accompanying a exclusive kind of one page kind of cover pinup thing. But okay, so this all of that talked about just because I had to stare down that goal. So let's move on. This is backer kits thing. Don't worry about it. Yes. The secret project should have a two stretch goals depending on how this goes. It's either one stretch goal or two stretch goals, or we'll include it as one fat thing. But I think it'll be two stretch goals, and we'll see. A lot of how I run that secret project will be determined by how this goes. It'll determine the size of the thing. It'll determine quite a few things. So we'll see. We'll see. And I'm hoping to hit the gas off of this, whether or not it actually funds. That's the bit. It's the adaptation, the pivot point, because we're not doing that anymore. So the campaign page, all this good stuff, previewing what we've done before, all this. One thing I like about Kickstarter is it allows you to put GIFs. Sadly, IGG does not allow you to put GIFs, or else this would be moving and this would be moving and blah blah blah. But it is what it is. Introduce the stuff. Nah, 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 nah. Big splash page, which I love that double page spread. I think it helps kind of hook people. We explain what we do, show you a finished page that explains kind of the universe pretty well. Then I talk about what issue 4 is gonna be. A little bit about catch you up on issue 3. A little bit of what this is. And then that's the biggie. I already just announced that, which is nice. Um, and we actually go straight into these because you don't really want to spend too much time fluff. So, overrunning multiple campaigns, um, I've gotten different kinds of feedback from all kinds of places, right? There's The CG crowd expects one kind of campaign, and normal like comic fans expect a different one. And I've gotten different feedbacks on campaign pages. I've gotten folks who say I won't back it, folks who will back it right away just after seeing the art. There's a lot of different things. The main bit is you don't want to bog people down too much in the pitch, and I hope I didn't. The one bit I'm worried about is this chunk of text. I'm a little worried about that, so that might change, but I still want to introduce folks to the grander thing we're doing. So it's a little bit of me being stubborn and a little bit me not sure how I should pivot. But we go straight into these first 4 pages. Um, Thank you. Thank you. I love how Maxi has, again, heavier inks. I was talking about that. Heavier inks. This goes, you can see. Part of that is Maxi's like, well, we're going into this dark hell-like territory, right? And I was like, yes. And so what I also wrote in the script was, as we go further and further, it should get more corrupted and more ethereal, more extra dimensional. Even though you're still on the same plane, it shifts because of Famine's will. Just 1 second, it's hot. My heater's on, and so we'll see. But I think he did a really great job. It's funny. There was a discussion through, and you mentioned Global Comics, which is great. They brought up that this panel layout can sometimes be confusing for folks, and it was kind of nice that I could chime in, like, how does it work here? And I've seen a lot of people do it different ways. Uh, and this seems to work just fine. If you read issue 3, you know exactly what's going on between these two panels. If you haven't, that might be an issue, right? Because you don't know what this is, and then suddenly there's a map. But I think you can. I think a reader would put 2 and 2 together. But we'll see. And then we have our wonderful. This was Max's idea to do a Akira homage, and I was like, oh, I was all for that. I was all for that. He was also kind of really stoked with how these buildings came out, and well, yeah, so was I. Um, and then this one, which is also now public, is so I had written page 2 and 3 as separate pages, and Max is like, you know, what I want to do is I want it to just start it off heavy and strong. So when you turn that page 1, then you're greeted by this massive double page spread, the big fist punching, and then just all of this hype, right? Um, my writing in this one is much more sparse. I tried to pivot closer to showing and not telling, which I started in issue 3. Issue 2 was very much a lot of telling with some reinforced showing. This one I tried to flip that on its head so that so I could fix the pacing. Honestly, is what I tried to do in this, and so far so good. I love these 5 pages, but uh, the concept of issue 4 is going through 4 layers of hell. So you shouldn't market, you really shouldn't, because your idea should stand strong by itself. You shouldn't have to attach it to other ideas to have it work, right? But this is Dante's Inferno meets the Four Sights of the Buddha, in terms of how I structured the story. So Dante's Inferno is going through different layers of hell, and the Four Sights of the Buddha is the awakening of Siddhartha to what reality is from being a rich kid in the palace who hadn't seen a bunch of things. The main bit is there's the old man, the sick man, the dead man, and the shaman. And those are the 4 encounters in this book. And I'm really impressed with this. This page is the appearance of the old man, which we teased in the end of issue 3. Um, Love this panel. I love what he did with the horses on this panel compared to what I wrote. He actually cut a panel out of this because it didn't need to be there. This is 7 panels over 2 pages. Very brisk. There's not much writing here either. I think there's just a little bit of caption that kind of sets the mood, and then boom, straight into it. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. Howdy dollar coins! I didn't know you showed up. Right on, right on, right on. So we're just going over this real quick before I actually have to go to town. I've got upwards of 20 minutes, so let's see if I can get through this. Um, the next page. So I love this page. I was so stoked when I saw this fist. Just how much energy he was able to throw into it. This whole thing, the cryptid, almost Lovecraftian feel of this panel. Just incredible. When you can look closer at these pages, which let me show you. Boom, boom. Okay, no, it shrinks him on Indiegogo, so I can't really do that. But there's a ton of detail in his beard. It's got almost a Cthulhu feel, but it's metallic and wires because it's a giant cyborg. Um, yeah, wonderful as always. I'm so blessed to work with this fella. But this is my favorite page that Maxie has ever produced, coming right up. And some folks who have followed me on Wicked Publishing, for instance, their stuff I've previewed it there before. But this is the first time on this channel, as far as I'm aware, and it is next week's preview that I'll be pushing really hard on social media. So you folks are gonna see this first. Boom, boom, boom. Now can I? Let's do this. So you can boom. There we go. That's what I wanted. So uh, just love it. Just love it. This is the encounter with the old man. This is the first feel. This had such a heavy metal and not exactly the magazine, but like the album cover concept, the feel of that to it. And man, I just so good, so good. It just blew me the hell away. Maxie would even like, oh, you're gonna love how these next two pages come out. I was like, well, of course I will. And then I saw him. I was like, oh, that's what he was talking about. He put so much mood into this, and again, his inks are heavier. This go right, like in black and white. This works incredibly. Um, but oh man, so good, so good. I'm not gonna talk too much about the old man, simply because their interaction is all I could talk about, and I don't want to spoil that. I think it's really cool, but nonetheless, man, I'm so hyped for this issue. This is the first like big encounter, and he just sold it. He just sold it so well, and right now it's my favorite page he's ever produced. I'm really excited for the sick man. I want to see what he does with him as well. But he nailed this one. He nailed it. Um, I was gushing over this page when it crashed. I don't know where we were otherwise, so I'll just here, and then hopefully I'll be able to cut it together from this point. So then we're gonna move on to page 5. The show must go on, as it were. Boom, 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 boom. And I just gotta hope that this is really not gonna load up. Come on now. Okay. Um, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about still, and see how it goes. So I wanted to preview the campaign like that. Okay, there we go. There you go. We're back. We're back. Annoying as it was is. Okay. Everything else still working though? Yeah. Streamlabs won't be open, so let me open that up just in case. Any crazy. Oh no. Okay, there it is. All right. I was like, oh no, did I lose something else? Nope, we're fine. We're fine. So we talked here. We talked this. We did all this. We were here, and then we're gonna move on to the first real conflict action scene. As soon as this guy can whoop go over here. Oh, and then yeah, and then you just jump in front anyway. One of those things. All right, so first action scene page. Let me go ahead. Well, not really. I think it's already started with action on page 2, or page 2 with the jumping and the punching. Um, well, there we go. Preview that. I really like this. It carries the pace well. It sets up the conflict, ups the stakes a little bit, puts a little bit of peril, and that's all I needed. I wasn't expecting this page. When I was doing the preview pages, I could only afford 4, and Maxi provided 5, so I found a way to pay for 5. But I think this is a good kind of idea to finish kind of hyping it up. Get out of here. Computer just started, so it's doing all those fun wake up messages. So yeah, uh, love it. Good pacing. Again, we try and not crowd with anything. You can see Jack's got a little bit of agility still left in the old fat man there, and I'm hoping these 5 will help push things forward. And I talk about our incredible team, all of that. A lot of books talk about the team, so I'm trying to do that here. But it's another bit of fat that I don't know if I should cut. Um, but I think it's placed at the right place to not really worry. And try and pitch it. And I talk about the perks here. There are actually, how does this one work with the perks? Just like all down here. There it goes. You have to scroll all the way down and then I'll do it. It's weird. It's weird like that. So I talk about what you're gonna get. You get one of the three pinups and a sticker. I'm hoping to be able to include all three pinups, but we'll see. It talks about the story content and bonus content. Of course, you get your digital copy. You might also get a track from Laguna Muta. Again, a lot of this is in flux. This isn't final. Of course, you can just snag the digital book. You can snag the digital bundle. There's actually an add-on for some misprints. It looks like Wicked Publishing got back to me, and it looks like some of what we thought were this massive batch of misprints are not misprinted. At least a few hundred of the books of the 1,500 are not misprinted, so some of them are gold. So my hope is, and there's a possibility that we will just offer last campaign's excess stock on this campaign. But right now, the only bits I have on there are cheap readers misprints copies as add-ons. I haven't written that on here yet. That'll come here in a bit. I'm doing this thing again, but I raised the price because of the amount of work it took, and so I can ship them much better than I shipped the first three. So, and also I wanted to have one tier that was crazy. Um, I don't really expect them to sell, to be honest, but if they do, they take big chunks out of our goal, right? So I'm happy about that. Welcome back, Arno. I'm so sorry. My it wasn't YouTube's fault this time. It was my computer's fault. I think it overheated the wireless adapter, which then just shut off, and then I had to restart the computer. Um, very annoying, very annoying. Um, Howdy, Max said. I don't remember that username, so welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying it's an awesome looking figurine. I took great pride in painting these. They're not absolute pro level painting, but I have some experience in miniature painting. The folks who have received them have been happy with them, so that's enough for me. Um, then I was going to get to this part where, yeah, most of the funds go straight to the art team, and that is, I do include the lettering in that, so that's just the colors, the lettering, and the line work. Um, so you can kind of figure out if you look at our campaign goal and then split it by 62%, you can kind of figure out what I'm paying for art. And that does not include, again, about a K that I've already put in. I don't expect to make that back. Um, that's what it's about where it costs to print, to snag all the merch, which I've already paid for the pinups and stuff. And then this one's the biggie. It actually might be higher than this depending on how many international orders we get, right? So that's always an interesting bit. I'm gonna do what I did with issue number 3, where I will add international tiers as people request them, more than straight from the beginning. But there's a couple ways to go about it, so we'll figure it out. Um, Oh, well, thank you so much, Max said. You missed some of the better stuff with the first stream before it crashed, like the page previews that haven't been shown elsewhere. So there is a part 1 of this Coffee and Comics with Cody, or whatever I called it, if you want to check that out and learn more. Then, I did all this stuff. You can check out our website. You can get the previous issues. There's other ways to help, right? I wanted to do that. And then here are the pinups you can snag, and the sticker that we're going to be putting out. And then I talk about the misprints, which is also on the channel if you want to watch that right away, just to show what I mean by misprints. The colors are a little darker than they should be, and the paper was misaligned to the rollers of the printer. So there are about halfway through the book, you get this small visible crease down like the bottom third. It goes across the bottom panels or whatever like that. But again, you can watch the video and I show it very directly. But those will be reader copies, and I'm hoping to actually just throw in on the excess from the previous campaign, and that won't really matter. But I wanted to have an option for people who want to back 4, support 4, but don't have the previous 3. So I wanted to make sure there's something there, and go from there. Um, but yeah, that was kind of the main thing I want to talk about this. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I'm fine. Um, I really wish. So again, I'm gonna probably edit this together into one video and re-upload it because that was very bothersome, that wireless adapter drop. So right now, here are the perks we got. Classic digital tier, um, another digital tier that'll include all the issues and everything else that we got. Um, our base price. I am limiting the tiers just to put that relatively artificial demand on it, and I know that's crud. But if we could sell 500 copies, then I will add another tier if people like really want it. If somehow this explodes, that would be 50 more backers basically than we've had ever before, which of course I want. But we'll see. So that's just kind of the mark there. Um, this thing. So I don't have the preview of this yet. So that's kind of secrety. Um, I did order a proof of one of these standees, and hopefully it's in production right now, so hopefully I'll have it within a week or two. And if I do, then I will totally be showing that off. And a little acrylic standee. I'm considering ordering the wood standees instead, so I might be discussing that on social media, try to see how people feel. Because I don't see people offering wood standees, and I think that's kind of cool. But people like acrylic because it lasts. It's plastic, so it's solid and it lasts. So I don't know, but I think wood would be cool. And then of course our big tier right here, which is this biggie. So we will see. But yeah, thank you for stopping in, Max. I really do appreciate it. And that hits all the points on this campaign page that I wanted to show, and then I previewed all the pages I wanted to show. Again, very very bothersome that this cut part way through because it was going to be a short stream, and now it's two short streams, and meh. Oh well. I was gonna preview books and other stuff that I got in, but I think I'll have to do that another time. I gotta leave here in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So I think I'm just gonna get ready for that. So I think that'll call it for now. I just wanted to preview that, show off the campaign as is. If people have thoughts, ideas, whatever, always feel free. Put them in the comments below, or go ahead and contact me on social media. All the links to our social media are on this thing when it opens, and it will be blurry until it loads in. Um, all right, here. This is where you can find us on everything. Contact me through any of these things. This one I'm not on very much, but all the other things. You feel free to get a hold of me and let me know your thoughts and where you think things should go and where you would want them to go and all that fun stuff. Um, Again, all our stuff are here. If you haven't read our work, you can read for free on Global Comics. You can check out Cax Coyotes as well on Global Comics. Check out our fan art gallery, which has hundreds of pieces at this point. Most of our videos get linked up into here. If you want to keep up with our work, this site does it. Our wonderful patrons literally are who pay for this site. Um, Patrons always get the exclusive previews on everything that we do before other folks get it. They also get direct access to our digital releases as they release for $1 a month. Um, Recommend checking out this stream if you want to see a bunch of a few comic creators chatting and just kind of on autopilot murdering stuff in Borderlands. It was a good time. It was a good time. But also, this is an exclusive interview right now until Global Comics releases it. So I recommend. Again, this is another kind of preview thing, and it was a great conversation with a wonderful mangaka. Um, but yeah, I guess that'll do it, folks. Check out our work. I really appreciate your time. Share around, interact. We love having you. I particularly do. This stuff keeps me sane. And I'll catch you again, maybe even later today when I come back. I'll try and stream again, maybe just play something or whatever. Um, and yeah, sorry if I lost anybody in between that adapter drop. That really bugged me. But we'll see. Anyway, take care, folks. And again, really appreciate you. Looks like my bot did its job and dropped the link in chat to ironversecomics.com. So everything's taken care of. And I guess that means I will be catching you folks later on. So see you folks. And again, thank you, thank you.